There was some big news that happened yesterday, and it wasn't surprising, but it just came out of the blue. So we saw Clemson filing this big lawsuit against the ACC after Florida State filed the lawsuit. How will this affect Syracuse exactly?
I don't think it will.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think it has much to do with Syracuse at all. Of course, Syracuse in 2014, that was their first year in the ACC. I don't see this mass doomsday scenario where the ACC is going to completely break up. And here's why. Here's why this really shouldn't be a concern for anyone out here. You can sue anyone for anything. You can always place a lawsuit on someone. That is your right in this country. It doesn't mean that when you file a lawsuit that you actually have a case. And Florida State and Clemson, they don't have a case. They signed bad contracts. Tough luck. They signed bad contracts. The only way they are able to actually leave the conference is if they pay an exit fee of over, I think, $600 million. So they don't want to do that, and that's why they're suing. But they signed a bad contract. It's as simple as that. And I don't people make this seem like it's a big deal because the school is suing conference to leave the conference. You sign a contract.
True.
They were going to act in the best interest for you. Sorry. I mean, the one possible outcome is both schools will reach a settlement allowing them to leave, but that settlement would still probably be an absurd figure. And in order for them to actually leave, they would need assurance from the SEC, which is probably where they're looking to go, that they would actually be allowed in. And maybe Florida State has the cachet to get into the SEC, but I don't think Clemson does. I think if Clemson were to go into the SEC, they would simply be doing it to make more money for themselves, but it would cause every other school to make a little bit less because now you have to divvy up the pie with another school. So I think the reality is I don't see this lawsuit working well for either school. And I don't think Syracuse is going anywhere either because no one else is going to take Syracuse if they were to join in on this type of lawsuit. So I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I don't think anyone should really panic about it. But, they can try. They can try to sue them all they want.
Well, I hope nothing happens to Syracuse. Like, I don't want to see them get screwed over because of something they didn't ask for. But if there was to be some type of exodus in some way, shape, or form in the ACC, would there be any chance we see Syracuse go to the new Big East and reunite with UConn and Georgetown and St. John's on a regular basis, or no?
I would say no. I think they're happy with where they're at. And it all depends on what the outcome of the Florida State and Clemson lawsuit is. If for whatever reason those two schools they win, if those schools win the lawsuit and are free to leave the conference without an exit fee or a very small exit fee, then maybe Syracuse would leave. But let's say, for example, Clemson and Florida State each come to an agreement of, 9 figures to leave the conference. Syracuse isn't going to pay that. They're just not. So I don't think that they're going to join the Big East. Maybe in 2036 we can have that conversation because that's when the deal ends. But to answer your question, if somehow Florida State, to answer your question, really, it all depends on the outcome of Florida State and Clemson. If there's some sort of settlement that's still an obscene figure, Syracuse isn't going to move. If those two schools somehow win, then maybe Syracuse could look around and say, where else could we go that maybe we can get more money?
Well, I would like to see Syracuse play Connecticut every year again, like they did before, but I
Are
guess
you
we'll wait.
sure about that right now? You sure?
Well, let's
We're
see. I was
we're having a tough time right now in the ACC. I don't know if we want to play. I know the rivalry and everything, but I don't know if we want to play UConn right now. I don't think we're really
how
ready for that yet.
how about St. John's?
Yeah, they played St. John's a couple years ago.
Yeah, but we gotta get that back to an annual setting, and I'm glad Georgetown's been back as an annual matchup since 2015, so
Yeah, I
that's
don't think Georgetown's going anywhere. They're gonna keep playing Georgetown, and that's probably a good thing because Georgetown stinks.
nice.
And it's not
Well,
even that Georgetown is still sucks. Like it's just actually they suck. Like they're
yeah,
just so bad.
it's so like, maybe Ed Cooley will get him rolling again, who knows,